Hi, the book that I'm reviewing today is called A Street Cat Named Bob by James Bowen. The story is about the author and his journey beginning as a homeless addict. Eventually, he decided to make a better life for himself by getting clean, renting an apartment, and busking to earn money. Along his path towards recovery, he met Bob the street cat. He takes him in as his own, and one day decides to bring him along while selling newspapers or singing and playing his guitar. Bob's presence increased James' profit made significantly each day, and the author continues by going on to describe details of their journey while adding additional information related to leadership and management growth. Usefulness of the book. The book is applicable in many ways to the topic of business. James describes his journey as a musical street performer and newspaper salesman before and after meeting Bob. So he compares his successes and failures before and after. He provides many pieces of advice that relate to leadership, marketing, and management based on knowledge gained through his life experiences. Some examples of the advice that I found particularly helpful include the benefits of using a marketing strategy that is unique in order to stand out from your competitors. This is crucial in succeeding in a business because you can't just all be the same. Additionally, the value of a responsibility and organization in the success of a company or business. And then the importance of strategically navigating relationships with others and choosing your battles wisely so as not to freak out or react unreasonably. You just have to think it through. The key points and highlights as it relates to leadership and management growth that I discuss include succeeding requires a business owner to implement strategies to market his or her company that specifically appeals to their target audience. So, although women were not primarily Bowen's intended target market, having Bob by his side when performing in the street significantly increased the amount of attention gained from the female population. The cat enabled the bystanders to perceive Bowen as more than a street person in need of money. They saw him as a human being with a capacity to love and care for something so genuine and pure. Another point is that it's necessary to find your niche and a way to stand out from the rest, as I discussed a little bit ago. By James including his cat Bob when performing around town and selling newspapers, he stood out from the rest. Clearly, it's not an everyday thing that seeing someone walking around with their cat on a leash. So people became fascinated by this novel and interesting situation, which increased the amount of traffic or customer base and resulted in an increase in money made. The last point is that something can always be gained from a challenge or obstacle in life. James struggled with his drug addiction for a long time, and eventually he decided that he needed to stop and begin the process toward recovery. This decision led him to reside in the apartment in Tottenham, and in the hallway of that apartment complex is where he saw Bob lying on the ground, and that's where everything began. Everything in James's life, good and bad, led to Bob, either way, whom he may have never met if the course of James's life was any different. The only point that I found to contradict my personal feelings or beliefs that does not in any way relate to business is that I don't really agree with taking cats, such as my cat Shiloh, outside with me on a leash because I feel like that would increase his stress levels significantly and not be good in any way. However, Bob, his demeanor and the situation is unlike that of most feline pets. Bob grew up on the streets and he was used to the chaos and hustle and bustle of the environment and having to fend for himself. For the most part, he traveled the streets confidently and stress-free, unless there was a trigger like a dog barking in his face or something that spooked him and would cause him to run off. Oh, and I also don't agree with Bowen's prior decision, obviously, to begin taking drugs and his deception and defiance growing up towards his family and others. However, he was wise enough to make the decisions that he made to get recovery and create a better life for himself. So other than those slight disagreements with James's cat parenting style and how he acted towards his family when he was younger and decisions to use drugs, I found the book to be very helpful and in harmony with my personal feelings and beliefs. The James Bowen of today is highly motivated, goal-oriented, and has a positive outlook on life, which is how I feel I am. He experienced many struggles throughout his life, but chose to fight for something better rather than simply succumbing to his failures and hardships encountered. So overall, I would definitely recommend this book. Thank you.